Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. There it is. There it is. Oh, so a lot of y'all are not even surprised. You seen it coming. Because, you know, if this was actually self-defense, we would have already seen some kind of video. If for sure Karmelo Anthony was the good guy, the good young man, the hero, we would have already seen the footage. But we got some more breaking news, and I want to send a huge shout out to all you guys, the family on the channel. I love y'all, man, and it's one love to the human race. Don't give it what your skin color is, what you look like, where you come from. I don't care. We're going to continue to spread love, call it for what it is, keep it real. We don't sugarcoat. We have fun. We crack jokes on this channel, you know, and it's right from wrong. And we play everything fair. We look at everything. We look at both sides fair, right from wrong. And we know who was dead wrong, you know, but the black community, the BLM scammers, the black activists, you know, they say, he's a hero, self-defense, you know. We see the police report, or we see the reports, we see the witness statements, we see what the classmates have said, you know, it all comes out. No, he's a hero, he's a hero, it was self-defense. What a disgrace. Then the school district scamming, got a whole money fraudulent scheme, whole money scam for emails. People paying hundreds, thousands of dollars and still can't get the emails. And we just covered that in our last video on this case. A disgrace, man. And we know about these school districts, you know. We know about and all the woke crap that goes on. And same with the college campuses, the educational system, I tell you, in this country, man. You know. But again, like I tell y'all, man, I was just in these young men's shoes, man, you know. So that's why we've been really covering this one heavy the way we did. And thank y'all for all the love and support, you know. And sorry I'm a little bit late on this one in particular, due to that we just you know, just bought a new home, just moved in, you know. So sorry if the lights, the camera might be a little bit off, the audio might be a little bit off in the new studio. We're doing new installments and modifications to the new studio room in the house. So I do want to apologize in advance. Thank y'all for all the love and support we've been getting, you know. And again, it's one love to the human race, man. I don't care what skin color you are. We're gonna call this for what it is, you know. And that's how it's been day one on this channel, you know. So if you're new here, join the family. But let's get into this. And again, want to send my love and condolences to the Metcalf family. Once again, seeing how they've been attacked, people don't have, you know, any sympathy for the victim's family. Drag them through the mud. You know, seeing them attack the family, SWATs. I mean, all kind of crap. Petition against the brother who lost his brother in his arms. I mean, it's just ridiculous, you know. But the school district, a disgrace. The judge, the principal. You know, it all comes out, man. It all comes out. And I'm glad we've been one of those ones covering, and many others, and even other content creators that have reached out to me, and I've actually become, you know, in close, you know, we've created relationships because of this case in particular. So it's been a blessing, man. And without you guys, you know, without the family on the channel, you know, I'm glad that a lot of us are like-minded, you know, and we all know right from wrong. You know, we all have a heart. We're all, you know, it's the little things, man. You know, and I get, we're human beings. You know, We all do things different, a different way. We all think a different way. We all think this, we're all going to agree to disagree, and that's fine. Talking about our parents. In a lot of these cases, we were saying better parenting, but not all the time. It goes right back to the parents. I know I'm a reflection of my parents. You're a reflection of your parents or somebody. It might not be your biological parent, but somebody. But in a lot of cases too, right from wrong. Right from wrong. So we not just always going, because again, there's parents that have done everything they can, and their kid or loved one still goes out and goes down the wrong path. And that's life. But like I say, every single day, every single minute, hour, we have to make a decision. And you have to live and die behind your decisions. Rewards and consequences, positives and negatives, from your decisions that you make on this earth. Decisions. But let's get into this disgraceful school district, in my beautiful state. Again, y'all know, born and raised Houston, Texas. I was a football star, track star. If you was on varsity football, you had to be a part of the track team. So, I was just in these young men's shoes a couple years ago. Just it felt like it was just yesterday. I was running at a track meet. So this one hits hard for me, man. But they have the video, the surveillance tape of this, and the school does not want to release it publicly. I know some might say, oh, well, long as that, the ones who have it, that's all that matters. Long as the police, long as the people that's over the case has it, it's all okay. And I know some other people are like, no, it shouldn't be like that. But like I said, if it was actually self-defense, we would have already seen something. If it was actually self-defense, what they all went out and cried and donated about, and made all the racist comments about white people this, white this, we got the crackers and all that, all the hateful, racist, nasty comments. People literally donating a couple dollars just to say a racist comment. I want to donate to the homeless or to what's going on in their community or their family member that's struggling down bad. Knowing that they don't even want them to pay them. But we'll donate to the killer though. BLM, will show up when somebody goes out, when a black person goes out and kill white person. What about where you at, BLM, when that mom got unalived, robbed, stabbed to death multiple times by an illegal criminal gang member? What about the 5-year-old? Where you at, BLM? There's tons of cases I can go down. BLM's no-shows. But this kid could have went out and killed any white person, and they'll still come out and say the same crap. He's a hero. Self-defense. And I'm so glad the internet responded in the same way, calling out this school district, saying what we all knew from the beginning. We were right. You were right. I was right. The Texas school district has surveillance footage of, fatal Austin Metcalf stabbing, but will not publicly release video. And you could just scroll and see what people are saying. The only important thing is that it will prove Karmelo's crime and put him in prison where he belongs. Americans aren't fooled by this anymore. The real story is, why isn't there a conspiracy of silence in the mainstream media of accurately representing the races of criminals to the American voting public. Pretty much proves what happened then. We all know why it wasn't released. I'm just reading some of the comments. This settles what actually happened. It's that bad? God forbid they make a murder look bad. That's all, but confirms that this wasn't a self-defense issue. Again, just showing what everybody is saying. You know, people are saying, "Gee, I wonder why." It wasn't self-defense. Case closed. Case closed. It says case closed. He was stealing, instigated the fight, and stabbed Austin Metcalf to death. Hope he rots in jail. These are what people are saying. You know, I seen one of the homies. He said something on. I want to see what he was talking about.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. By the way, Karmelo Anthony is scheduled to be indicted this month. I am predicting now that he will not get charged with the correct crime. He will.
And again, it seems a lot of you said that in my comments as well too. You know, and I wonder if he got an update on the that whole little scam the school district was doing with the emails. You know, and there was some that even paid, and they still haven't received any emails. They're running like a whole, you know, look, y'all seen it what we covered in our last video. You know, people paying hundreds, thousands of dollars for thousands of emails and still can't get the emails. You know, these scamming school districts, woke school districts. Complete disgrace, man.
We'll get charged with the.
Then they let him get his diploma. I won't be surprised if those kids and people, one of them create like a group or a whole bunch of them just walk out or protest the graduation. Because I'm telling you, we got homies that was skipping school or missed a couple classes or, you know, got caught, you know, doing this, but they didn't kill nobody and they couldn't get their diploma. Just saying.
Lesser crime. That's my prediction. From the judge lowering the bail to the school letting him graduate to, or lowering the bail to even giving him bail in the first place. Every person along the way here has allowed what is, in my opinion, at least in some part, premeditated crime go with the least punishment humanly imaginable. They're even talking about delaying the trial so that media will forget about it, so that you will forget about it. Make sure you leave a like in this video and you subscribe or follow, because I won't stop covering this until justice is served. Here's the article. Terrifying surveillance footage emerges of Austin Metcalf's attack at the track meet. The horrific incident that saw track star Austin Metcalf pass away was recorded on surveillance footage. Austin Metcalf, a Memorial High School junior, we all know, lost his life that day because somebody had low impulse control. The devastating incident on April 2nd was recorded on a wide-angle camera capturing a distant view of the stadium in Frisco where the ordeal unraveled. A tiny portion of the clash would be seen in the upper left-hand corner on the screen, according to WFAA, who was granted a limited access to the footage. The video reportedly shows Memorial High School pop-up tent on the track meet where Anthony was accused of barging into before allegedly pulling out his poker, as the kids say on TikTok now. Metcalf and Anthony, Metcalf and Anthony, then a senior at rival Centennial High School, were not, quote, totally identifiable in the video provided by the school district. Gee, I wonder why. Gee, I wonder if they scaled it down so you couldn't tell what was going on. You know, I just have this weird feeling. At 9:55 a.m., a sudden movement was seen at the tent on the bleachers, but the alleged incident wasn't totally visible. There was movement outside the tent, but it was all heavily pixelated, showing figures at the top of the bleachers. Some of them were positioned just above the tent, and others just below. Shortly after the sudden movement, shortly
I know how they write these articles.
after the sudden movement, several people, likely students, were seen running from the area. Others on the field reacted by moving toward the back gate. Paramedics arrived at the scene 9 minutes after the incident, entering through the same back gate and parking in the middle of the field. It had been previously reported that Metcalf's twin brother Hunter was with him and held him as he passed away. On the video, paramedics were seen wheeling a gurney to the bottom of the bleachers to attempt to save Austin's life. About 15 minutes after the incident, a tarp was raised over the bleachers and rain was beginning to fall heavily at this time. About 26 minutes after the incident, emergency medical services left and were replaced with people believed to be law enforcement setting up a crime scene. The surveillance footage is expected to be a key piece of evidence for the grand jury, which will decide in the next coming weeks whether or not the charges will be upheld. This is where I'm very concerned about the justice for Austin Metcalf.
Y'all know the justice system in this country is broken. The judge says, I'm going to help a brother out. Jury says, wait. He's 17. He just made a mistake. Oh.
By the end of the month, so it's already the 11th at the time of this recording. So it's no more than 2 weeks, roughly. In the next 2 weeks, the grand jury is going to decide if they're going to charge him with the crime he clearly committed or give him his fourth in a row break. I suspect they will give him a break and charge him with a lesser charge. Anthony's attorney, Mike Howard, confirmed to WFAA that he's seen the video, but neither the victim's family or the suspect's family has disclosed whether they've seen it. Metcalf and Anthony were two track athletes from opposing schools, and they both attended.
Yeah, we know they're not going to disclose what they've seen in it. We know why. I bet you I'm telling you, we would all, if this was self-defense on day between day 1 and day 5, we would have seen something. If it was actually self-defense.
This event. Witnesses told PD that for some reason,
put him in handcuffs.
Anthony migrated over to the Memorial High School pop-up tent, probably because he had we will find out he had beef with them at some point. Anthony unzipped his bag, reaching in, telling Metcalf, touch me and see what happens. A witness told police. The affidavit said Metcalf then grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out his weapon and took his life. Anthony is accused of fleeing the scene and tossing the weapon into the bleachers. He was arrested shortly after. Responding officers said that Anthony told them that he was protecting himself and that Anthony put his hands on him. Metcalf put his hands on him. Anthony also told the officers, I'm not alleged, I did it. He's, of course, under house arrest, enjoying NCAA 2K right now, wearing an ankle monitor as he awaits the next developments in the case against him.
That's what they do, play 2K, NCAA. Yeah, I play it, so I know. Again, I'm 25, and at 17, 18, that's what we were doing on the video game, 2K. Shame on Ronnie 2K. Make the game like how it used to be back in the day. 2K used to be good. Then they went to all this disgraceful stuff, man. I think the whole woke this and that and all this and that, man. They have messed up good things. Everything good has turned to complete crap. Remember back in 2016, 2017. I'm telling you, man. Even 2015. I mean, man. Anyways, I know we're not talking about a video game, but still, man. Everything used to be good. They ruined everything, man. Everything has went down to the complete gutter, man, sewer.
Meanwhile, others are outraged that Anthony's family has been able to raise upwards of $535,000 on a crowdfunding site GiveSendGo to support the legal defense. The money also went towards paying the rent of a $900,000 home in a luxury gated community in Frisco. While the legal defense is a critical part of this journey, we want to make sure that this fund is not solely dedicated to legal expenses. Anthony's mom, Kayla Hayes, who administers the GoFundMe, posted, which also hasn't been updated in several weeks. Now, a local reporter has also claimed to see the video. And here's what she says. Many people seem confused about why this video was allowed to be seen, which parts were permitted for viewing, and other details. Allow me to clarify. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I have seen the video via an open records request. The actual incident cannot be seen, only moments before and after. You cannot see what's happening. You cannot identify faces. The footage is very grainy and recorded from far away. The opposite side of the stadium. The actual incident isn't shown, as this portion is being withheld by the DA for possible evidence in the case. However, I've been told that much of it may not even be admissible since nothing is clearly visible. After the incident, EMS arrives on the scene 9 minutes later. You can see the individual running down the bleachers, tripping and falling, then getting up and continuing to run. This individual was Karmelo Anthony. The publicly released clip has zero evidentiary value. Unfortunately for many fake, quote, reporters and activists defending Anthony have used this video to claim they saw the incident. They saw absolutely nothing. I reported this weeks ago, but for the first time, I'm grateful that the mainstream media is finally catching up. Now everyone knows people like Tiffany Billions and other, quote, disruptors are lying about claiming that they saw it and that it was self-defense. It seems unlikely that if the rest of the video was, kind of grainy and you couldn't really tell, I actually think that that's worse. That's actually worse than, for example, that's worse than if it was clear, because the defense will say, well, we can't really see. We can't really see, so who knows what was going on? It's going to give him reasonable doubt. And so all we're going to have now is witness testimony. Now, fortunately, in this case, there are dozens of witnesses for this. So, it's pretty interesting. You see Fox, surveillance video of it in Texas track meet officials say. If we look at the other people covering it, Frisco ISD Incident District does not release video, but let us watch it. So here's what we saw. Well, here's what another person is from local news, WFAA, is saying. Metcalf and Anthony are not identifiable in the video. Around 9:55 a.m., a sudden movement is observed at the tent, but the alleged act itself is not visible. There are a lot of moving, but it's heavily pixelated. Figures at the top of the bleachers, just above the tent, and the bottom of the tent appears to be sprinkling at the time. Shortly after, several individuals believed to be students are running, while others on the field are moving to the back gate. Emergency medical services arrive 9 minutes later. So we don't really know. They're going to say that there are going to be activists that say this proves his innocence. But I think this case is going to come down to kids' witness testimony, which is concerning. Here in the Fox News, Anthony is facing first-degree charges. Authorities say that this happened. The arrest report obtained sheds new light on the pre-incident clash, saying that Austin stood up and pushed me and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. The arrest report said witness told Anthony then he reached into his bag. I mean, the push does not appear to be up for debate. We have not seen the Metcalf say they didn't push him. The thing is, getting pushed does not actually constitute, people who don't understand stand your ground law. They say, well, it's a stand your ground law. He doesn't have to. No, because Karmelo Anthony escalated the situation, he does not qualify for stand your ground. In fact, he has, again, once he re-escalates it or, escalates the situation, he now has a duty to retreat. The people that don't understand the stand your ground law in Texas are spreading this nonsense that, well, it was mutual combat and Karmelo had a duty to retreat. No, had no duty to retreat. Yes, he did. By his own words and by witness testimony, he escalated the situation. He brought a weapon with him. He absolutely had a duty to retreat. This is going to be interesting. I don't know why they didn't release the video. I'm sure we'll see it come out at the trial, but it's pretty interesting to me. You know, so he had to climb steps to reach their tent, go inside instead of going into his, which was much lower. I'm pretty sure he intended on doing something. What it was, I'll leave up to the jury to figure. I mean, it seems like it could be premeditated. You know, he may have had some sort of beef and he went up there looking for trouble. I don't know. You know, we've never seen any evidence that he had other friends in the in the tent that he was going to meet, which is what has been claimed. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least.
So it's good that there's not released to the public. Say you can't see it. Yeah. There's always a video. There's always a video. No. But we know what this is. So let me know what y'all think. I love y'all. God bless you all and your family. And I will catch y'all on the next one.